Hey, paddle enthusiasts, welcome to Paddle Smash Academy. My name is Saz, paddle club owner and entrepreneur. Next to me is Julian, paddle master coach, and we're all about paddle. Whether you're new to the sport or an experienced player, you've come to the right place. Our goal is to provide you with paddle news, tournament outcomes, product reviews, and video lessons to take your game to the next level. So grab your paddle and let's get started at Paddle Smash Academy. Let's talk about clubs, right? So let's talk about reserve paddle. I've already played there like 3-4 times. I love it. I mean, number one, you get a cooler breeze in the night. People talk about wind, this and that, but I really don't feel it there, especially when doing labs. The environment is great. I mean, I just love it, But is it practical? Who are they marketing to?
How much do they charge
Well, they're charging, if you're a non-member, they're charging $40
per person
per person
for
an
hour and a half?
That's an hour and a half, and then they charge you an extra $10. If you're a non-member.
So you're paying $50 per person. So it's $200 for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
That's pretty steep.
it is steep, but I mean, if you look at the real estate and you look at Paddle House in New York, they're the same price. I think it's not necessarily that it's steep. I think it's who's their market.
Yes.
I mean, who's their market? Who are they marketing to, right? I guess it has to be with people that can afford it, right? The affluent players. But are there any affluent players? And if there is, is it enough to create a demand? Right now, I don't think there is.
No,
I think there's, the market here is, the anywhere from 27 to 37 maximum, and that's the majority, right? They're trying to market people who are affluent, and they may come once in a while, but they're not playing paddle every day or every other day. I mean, that's a small niche, and like I said, is that enough to make this viable? And can they create a business out of this?
it's going to be a pretty interesting experiment what they're doing at the reserve. And let me ask you one thing: membership. How does it work with the membership?
Okay,
how much do they charge you?
So it's $5,000, right? So
Per year?
Well,
Or just one time?
I'm not sure. See, this is all kind of new. So they have, I guess, a temporary permit. So they'll be there 5 months. And, all these things could be, confirmed, hopefully, when we interview, Reserve Paddle. But
So let's just clarify. So the reserve is going to supposedly, that's for what we know, it's going to be there only for 5 months.
Yeah, well, it's a temporary. I
temporary.
think they're going to try to get an extension for another 6 months. So let's just say they don't get that. You're at about $5,000 for 5 months, right? And then you got to look at the benefits. What are the benefits? So let's talk about that. Number one, you pay $10 less, on the court, so it's $40. Okay, so now you're kind of getting down to where everybody are, because Ultra's 37, right? So we're almost
but
there,
you're
right?
out of your pocket already 5,000 down.
Right.
So
but you got to look at the real estate. I mean, when you're playing and you see the nice view, I mean, is that worth $5,000 to many? Yes, but maybe to many people who just want to play paddle, maybe no, and that's probably the majority. I love it. I like it. So then other benefits would be that you can reserve the court earlier. So within any time, I think, 1 week or 2 weeks ahead. So if you're a non-member, you can only reserve the court 1 day ahead. And I've been reserving courts, and I haven't had much difficulty reserving courts, at prime time, after 5 or after 7. So
what platform do you use to reserve the courts?
they have their own. They go straight to you go straight to their website. So they have their own, which
So they don't use Playtomic or Play by Court.
And I applaud them for it. I mean, I think it's it's unique. I mean, it has its pros and cons always, using everybody's third-party platforms or your own. There's always pros and cons. You have a little more control when you're using your own platform, but then you're not grouped together with all the other clubs and so forth. So I don't mind using their what do you call it? But they have some good coaches there. I mean, they have Gabby, and they have Juani, and when I was there during the day, I took a class.
They have Willie too.
And Willie too. Yeah, exactly. But I'm not sure. I mean, are they gonna be there for 5 months? I
Do
mean,
you know how much they charge for the
yeah,
lesson?
yeah. So it's $150
For lesson.
for a lesson.
Wow.
And I think that's how they brought them in because that's
Yeah.
money talks, right?
Yeah. So here's the question that we have to think about. So, okay, let's say I want to be a member of the reserve. So I got to come up with $5,000,
Yeah.
right? And now instead of paying $50 an hour, I'm paying 40. So the core time is 160 compared to 200. And then I'm competing with Winwood 7 minutes away, which is $100 for an hour and a half, or $25, or a little bit less than that. And also Ultra, which is about maybe 12 minutes away, which is a little bit higher, right, than Winwood.
Yeah. So I think that's the whole thing. It's a different market.
Yes.
I think they're trying to focus on a niche, a small market, which is the affluent paddle player.
Yes.
The one who wants to go to a nice country club or like a nice private club like you would have in the Gables Tennis Club, and that's what they're focusing on. And I think there is a demand for that, but it's how many? It's not the majority,
Yes.
So can this company survive on the memberships and
It will
filling
be,
up the courts?
Yeah, it will be interesting what happens as a financial, business plan. I mean, if 5 months down the road, if they get, first of all, if they get how many members they get to pay $5,000 up front on top of the $40 that you have to pay per court, or 160 per court, it will be very interesting what's happening, so how it's going to be evolving.
I think this should have been like an approach that I forget what it's called, but a lot of tech companies use is getting your members or subscribers first, and then afterwards trying to figure out how to create revenue for them. And I think this is just a different model, right? So it may or may not work, but this is just what I would think is get everybody there first, and be competitive with whatever's around there, even though you're going to be in the red, for the first quarter. But you have people there, right? They're experiencing it. Once they're there, it's hard for them not to be there, right? So if you go to 5 or 6 different clubs and you go to the best one, best view, and just best club, you're not going to want to now go to the other clubs again. So that's something that I would have probably done. And then at that point, create benefits, right? So create, let's say, a nice clubhouse when it comes to, let's just say, the showering and stuff like that. So if you're only members can go there, right? Create like once a month events that only members are invited to. Create certain tournaments that only members are invited to. Certain things that creating those little benefits. So then at one point, you may get people who want to convert over to that, but at least you get people there. So it feels like a demand, right? So now you're converting people to these memberships. And once you create that demand where you have enough memberships, then you can increase the price on the non-membership part to try to sway them over. But that's always easier said than done.
So let me ask one thing. You think, from your point of view as a business person and all that, you think it's sustainable maintaining that level of charging people and charging fees and all that? Because let me ask you. Let's say now they're in the projects, maybe 10, 15 new clubs coming up in the South Florida area. Let's say now we have a club of charging $80, $90 for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. Now, driving 5 more minutes one way or the other, now you're saving $40, $50, $60 every time you play. That could be for the majority of the paddle players. That's a big difference. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think that's a key word, sustainable. I mean, that's a great word for this. Is it sustainable short term? I would say no. Long term, yeah. Because the thing is, who they're focusing on is affluent people who play paddle. And they may not play paddle. That's the thing. So converting them, educating them to play paddle takes time. You can obviously see that here with Winwood and the other clubs in Real Paddle. It wasn't always that there wasn't demand. It was that converting people to play paddle. So you need people in there to get new players to come in and continue to come in and really get addicted to this game, because this game is very addictive.
But one of the things, and because of my 20 plus years as a club management, in the business of club management, the whole thing starts with who's managing the club, who brings the people through the door, who creates all those experiences. And that's the key. And what I see the biggest gap here, with a lot of people trying to put up new paddle clubs. You're building the circus, but if you don't have a good conductor, people will not come. If you don't create the entertainment, people will not come through the door. And that's the most important secret. It's like you having the best location, the best restaurant, but if you don't have the chef, they won't be coming, because you won't be serving good food. So that's the key, that's the key ingredient when you set up the whole circus. And who's the one in charge now running the whole circus? That's my question.
100%. I don't have anybody that I think is really running that. I mean, they did a tournament last weekend, but that was, I believe, a private little tournament that one person organizes, but I don't think they work there. But that is 100% what you're saying. For a club like that, you would need somebody managing that is, an ex-player or somebody that is really high-level player.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you just couldn't put anybody in there.
Well, but here's the biggest misconception, and I'm telling you for experience. For you to be a good club manager, you don't have to be a good player. You have to know exactly what the club needs. You know what I mean?
100%. But I believe for the people who they're trying to market to, I think they do. Because these are affluent people. Their expectations are a lot higher.
But you might have good coaches. You could have good, excellent, top-level coaches. Yeah. But I'm talking about the person above them. It has to be the one who sets up the team and said, okay, you guys run these clinics, you run these tournaments, you run these events, and bring the people in. I'm the one who's putting the face, setting up the ideas, and like everything has to have a mission and a vision.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to take it, I think.
No, you're 100% right on that. But I think the people that they're trying to market, are the people who want the best of everything. They want the best location. They want the best paddle rackets. They want this. Money's not really a concern. So for them to say, hey, look, I play for, or play with this ex-player that is like this and this, I think that's going to draw in the people that they're marketing to. But of course, they definitely have to have some experience in management. I mean, because that's also key too. If they have the name, but they don't know how to manage or don't want to manage or believe they're too good to manage, then that's not going to work either. Yeah. So there has to be a good compromise there. But I think that's going to be helpful for the people they want to market to. But you're right, they don't have anybody there.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you just want to fill up those courts. So will they change their model? Will they lower the membership fee? Will they give maybe more benefits? They keep the membership fee and give more benefits. Maybe it will be less. Maybe it will be they drop it down to $27 a person.
Yeah.
And that may make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Will they add more benefits? I think that's key.
Yeah.
But I believe they should focus a little bit on the market, the majority of the market, and try to slowly convert them over to membership. And I think they will. I think certain people will. But that dramatic and drastic, this is what it is too much a shock. It's a shock.
Yes, I think that the 6 months mark for any business, especially paddle business, it's crucial for you to start looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
And if the numbers there makes sense, how much money coming in compared to how much money coming out. And like you just said, if things don't work out at $50, $60 for an hour and a half per person, now you're going to have to drop the price, because at the end of the day, it's all about volume.
Yeah.
The more people you get through the door, the more money you will make. I'd rather make 27 than make 40 and have the empty courts.
Yeah, and you can convert that later.
Yeah.
I mean, you take the loss for the first, second, third quarter.
Yeah.
But then once you have the people there, you can start now reducing that loss.
Exactly.
And creating other opportunities to, to create revenue.
Yes.
So that would have been, I think, a better strategy. But these guys know what they're doing. So
Yes.
I could
They're
I could be way off.
Yeah. Well, with our podcast, I mean, we're trying to help as much as possible and give our 2 cents and our point of view. And I think we also take questions and things like that. Let me ask one thing: that the second player, he's a top player. He's the Rafa Nadal or the Djokovic. Now let's talk about the second club, Ultra. Have you had a chance to play there?
Yeah. I love it. But before we get to there, I want to just talk a little bit. Another experience I've had at the Reserve. I went to play on a Friday, and they had a grill going. They had a DJ. It was awesome. I mean, I was like, I loved it. I was like, this is the club for me. And I actually played on one of their courts, which is right next to all of that. And I didn't mind. I kind of loved it. I loved the music. I was just playing. But what I saw was that while I was playing, the majority of those people didn't really even ever play paddle. They were like clueless. They asked me all these questions, and that obviously they've never played.
Yeah.
So, that was a decent event. I mean, it must have cost them some type of money. Are they going to be able to convert these people that they drew in to play paddle?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And I'm not sure.
Let me ask something. How do you convert them? I think you need a major player there, which are the coaches. You have to have good coaches to convert or to create new paddle players.
I think I'm not sure. I think it's a lot easier to convert the majority to this club than educate the market that they're trying to get and then bring over the paddle.
Yeah.
That's what I believe, because it'll take a lot longer to do that.
Of course.
These paddle players, the majority they're already playing every day.
Yeah.
They've already been educated on it.
Yeah.
Get them to come over, and then once you make these adjustments, some of them will leave, but a lot of them will stay.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier than trying to educate, trying to create parties, trying to get these things, getting them there, and then trying to retain them and get them educated on playing paddle. They may go once for some pictures and stuff, but then are they really passionate? But, I'll give you a good example. Remember the World Paddle Tour in Miami?
Yes.
Right? So I think you had 20,000 people there, or 15,000 people there. 15,000, I think. About 10 to 12,000 people were in the VIP bar. They weren't even watching the game.
Yeah.
And you probably had 3,000 people watching the game. And that was a big thing because they were so upset the players was so loud. So those people are probably the same people they're trying to market. And they don't really care about paddle. They care about more of a social event.
The social aspect.
What's the newest thing?
Yeah.
So can you retain some of those people? Yeah, they probably did, but a real small percentage of it. So the people who loved it were there watching, and maybe 3% or 5% were affluent, right? And the rest were just normal, everyday players.
It's going to be very, very interesting, how it hits the bottom line and see if it makes a good business sense. But, it's for us paddleists and crazy about paddle and
it's life.
It's life, and it's a beautiful thing. The more clubs, the better it is, and some they're going to survive, and other ones they will evolve into something else.
Well, these guys are business people, man. They didn't know what they're doing, so they're going to adapt and change models. If they want to make this thing work.
Yeah.
If they have to compromise too much, then they're going to move on.
Yeah.
Because maybe this is not the spot, because they have their views on what they want.
Yeah.
And that they're not going to compromise too much. To compromise their end goal.
Yeah.
So maybe this is not the right spot. But this is the only spot people play paddle most in Miami.
Yeah.
So
it is.
All right. So now we're going to talk about Ultra, right?
Yes.
I love Ultra, man. I mean, I think the setup is awesome. I mean, have you played yet there?
I did play many times
awesome?
there. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
You have the outside courts, you have the inside courts, you got 4 now there. You have a place to sit down. It just looks awesome. I love the garage doors and they open up. You have a place to sit down. I mean, it's bigger.
Yeah.
More room.
Yeah.
I heard they're gonna put pickle courts there as well. I mean, I don't I don't know if there's anybody organizing yet too much. I think Fernando's organizing there a little bit on some of the games on Saturdays or Sundays. But again, I think it's what you talked about. Having a good manager there, bringing
Yes.
people in, not just for advanced players, but for also intermediate and beginners and just everyone in general. You need that structure there to bring people in and get them addicted, really.
Yes.
You know,
And let me tell you for an experience, where you can make the huge difference, it's from the intermediates and the beginners.
Yeah.
The advanced, they already think that they're too good and they don't need the coaching and all that.
You got
but
it.
we might, but the intermediates is that's where you have the big bulk where you can really monetize it and bring your club to the next level.
You're 100% correct. The intermediate is where the money's at.
Yeah.
For the
The
clubs.
intermediates.
Because they're the ones that are excited. They're the ones coming to play. They're the ones grateful
Yeah.
for you organizing stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a big social thing. Once you get to the advance, they just want to play with their own group
You
or
got it.
play with that same level group.
Yeah.
They don't want to play with the majority, which is advanced.
Yeah. No, the
Um,
intermediate.
I'm sorry, intermediate,
Yeah.
which is the majority, right? So that's that's 100%. You see that everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think Ultra is on that path. I think that's who their market is. I think they're trying to take the market of Winwood and Real Paddle because they're still kind of close.
How much are they per court?
37.
37. Okay. So 160, something like that.
So it's maybe $10 more than Real and Winwood.
When was $100, correct?
I think it's 27 per person.
Yeah, per person.
Yeah, 27 per person. So, I've always felt like prices are gonna start coming up. You have inflation. I thought Winwood and what do you call were gonna bring the price up, but I think they would have to add a little bit more. Like I think Real Paddle just changed their turf, which is a good thing. That was an opportunity maybe to bring up the price a little bit.
They will. No, they haven't changed it.
Yeah, they did Real Paddle.
Oh, Real Paddle.
Real
I'm
Paddle,
sorry.
yeah,
I thought you were talking about Winwood.
No, I think if maybe Winwood is something like that.
Well,
then
let me
maybe
tell
they
you. I
can-
played a tournament at Real, and it wasn't that good of experience. I think
Oh, with the new
with a
turf.
new turf. Yeah.
It's a little slower. When you get new turf, it's always kind of like takes time. It's thicker. It's ball's a little slower.
Yeah.
But every court's different.
Yeah.
So you just have to adjust. Some are slower than others. Honestly, I like Winwood because it's faster.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of dead spots there.
Yeah.
So you have to like play the court. So you got Real Paddle, which is slower, right? But you don't get flat spots, right? But and then so every court's a little different, and you just kind of have to adjust. It's like when you're playing a game, you have a ref are different, so you have
Yes.
to play the ref. So you're playing the court, which it's just how it is.
Yeah.
But I like Ultra. I think they're moving into the market of Real and Winwood, and I think they're gonna do well.
Yeah.
Is there enough clients or paddle players for all of them?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think it's a good alternative because before you could you go to Winwood, you can't get a course, and then you try Real Paddle, you couldn't get there, and then what else you have? You
Yes.
have Open Paddle, but just a little bit too far, and then they have 4 paddles indoors. So now when it comes to the the summer in what do you call it in Miami here, and it's brutal.
Yeah.
You won't play on Saturday, Sunday during the day. You're not playing outdoors.
No.
You're going to Open Paddle. You're going to Ultra.
Yes,
and that has a little bit of benefits there. And if it rains,
Let me ask you
the
my
other thing.
experience with the few times that I play indoors at Ultra. The ceiling is too low. And you get conditioned,
yeah, you can't do those pincho shots. The glow is really high. But it's not enough where you can't do a lob. Like I played at Paddle House, and that's even a little bit lower.
Yeah.
And at Open Paddle too, I think it's about the same. I never hit the ceiling.
Never in Ultra?
No, only because I played in open paddle too. So once I see the ceiling, I adjust. And you can't do those high lobs.
rainy lobs.
You're not going to be able to do that.
Yes.
But you can do lobs
Yeah.
without a doubt. Or and you'll change your game too. You'll do more chiquitas and more, at the
Yeah.
bodies, low balls, and so you have to adjust your game. But I didn't have that issue. But if you're somebody who's constantly, lobbing, and that's part of your game, the right side player, and you're doing really high ones, then you're gonna have to adjust always when it's indoors.
Let me ask you, by the way, for all viewers and listeners, we're gonna be putting all the information on below on our podcast for you to reach out these clubs and all the information about these clubs, so the links and all that.
Without a doubt. I mean, I've got so many questions, so many DMs especially about Reserve Club. And all these questions, and I, for some reason it's not out there yet, but you can always DM us, and we're gonna put some more information about what our experience and what we know, and hopefully eventually we'll be able to get a couple of these people here in our video podcast, and,
for sure.
and clear up things and start talking a little bit more about their model and what their future is.
Yeah, and for you guys to benefit from all this, I mean, the business, different business models, and what are the great benefits of each club, and try to take the paddle game in the United States to a whole new level.
Yeah, and so let's talk about the other clubs. I guess we have Real Paddle, right? They had I think a month ago, they had a car run into
yes,
encroach into
I saw it on Instagram
and ruined one of their courts. And
Yes.
I think they have a board up, but I'm not sure. I think they have to order a new court, and I think it's coming in. So
that was pretty rough.
That
something
was
similar
man.
happened in Wynwood.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Recently or
on court 8. No, a couple of years
a
ago.
couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so they also put in new carpets. They have a lot of silicone on there as well, to try to get the ball to bounce because it's slower. So you get a lot of silicone there at the ends of the courts, and so if that ball hits there, it's dead.
Yeah.
It's dead. But I think it's gonna take some time, just to get that worn down, and adjust for what everybody's used to, and that's pretty much it at Real Paddle, right?
Yeah, Real Paddle, there is not much. I mean, they were the first ones in town, and they've been here for quite a while.
Okay, so I do have a little bit of news, but I don't know, again, this is just rumors, okay? There's a lot behind it, okay? And that was leveled off, okay? And the rumors may be that they may be expanding, or they they may be investors coming in or expanding over to that. That's going to be great if they do another 4 courts there. It'll be great if it's even indoors. That's gonna be great for downtown, or close to Wynwood downtown. So that's going to give us another 4 courts. But again, that's a rumor. I'm not sure 100% if that's true, but it all looks like it is. I mean, they already leveled that building down, and it looks like that might
And let me
happen.
tell you, we heard so many rumors on a daily basis about there's a club opening here, opening there. We have these investors going on here. So actually, last week, I just met with a group of investors from San Francisco. This is happening because they're almost raised 80% of the money they're looking for. They're opening a club there in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, walking distance to the Golden Bridge Gate. Awesome club. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be 5 paddle courts and 5 pickleball courts. It's called the Golden City Paddle Club, and hopefully it will be opening soon, and we'll be helping them set up and get organized and get the coaches ready and all that. But yeah, there are so many rumors going on. There is another one opening in Austin, Texas. A dear friend of mine is opening the one in Texas. So yes, there are some. I heard there's a group of British investors here looking some lots here to put some more clubs here in the Miami area. So there are some exciting news. I haven't seen anything solid yet. The latest one is the Reserve, and the one after that is Ultra. But besides that, there is many rumors, but nothing really. We're not seeing the goods yet, so we gotta wait.
Yes, about the rumors. Yeah, just take it with a grain of salt, because this is just stuff that we've heard or we've seen. it's not anything concrete.
Yes.
You know, so just like I said, take it with a grain of salt.
But we're crossing our fingers because we want to make paddle growth
Yeah.
in the United States.
The more clubs, the more courts, the more
Yes.
paddle players.
Yes.
I was just at the USTA Tennis Center in Orlando, and I got to play some paddle there. It is a beautiful facility. I mean, it is amazing.
Yes.
It's huge, right? They I think they have 4 courts there, yeah. And I played there, and the courts are great. But man, I mean, the tennis, the pickle, I mean, it's huge. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
It's
I
beautiful,
mean,
beautiful
First
place.
time I've ever played there.
By the way, for you guys to know, and I will also gonna put the link there on May 17, 18, and 19th. I will be at the USTA National Campus on the paddle courts. I will be giving paddle coaches certifications. I'm part of the PCR, which is an umbrella of the PTR, the Professional Tennis Registry. And now we created the Paddle Coaches Registry. And basically what we're doing is creating and certifying paddle coaches here in the United States, because that's one of the things that we're really missing here in the United States. We're building courts, but we have no good coaches to teach paddle. And you need that balance, and you need that component for you to make paddle growth in the United States. You might have the course, but if you don't have the teachers or the coaches, you can grow paddle, because someone needs to teach these new students how to play paddle. So I'm part of this coaching certification, and we already have about 15 people sign up for the coaching certification. We're gonna put the link below for you guys if you know anyone interested in becoming a paddle coach. Has some great benefits. One of the main benefits is that we provide liability insurance for up to $6 million in case something happens to one of your students or to you inside the padel court. So that's a great thing for you to have when you're coaching paddle. So another bits for you guys to take your paddle game to the next level.
Sounds great. Sounds great, Julian. You can always go to our YouTube channel as well.
Yes.
We have tons of videos there. It's very helpful, especially if you're a beginner, intermediate, or even an advanced. And I think you make a great point there that, yes, we have all these paddle courts, but we need good coaches.
Yeah.
And we need, and I think one of the biggest things is affordability too. I mean, it's kind of tough for some, players to take lessons. $100, $150 is a lot. I mean, you could take a lot from our videos, on our YouTube, Paddle Academy 305. And then, of course, finding a good coach, you can, take your paddle game to that next level.
Yeah. And one of the things that we'll be doing shortly is restructuring our website, thepaddleacademy.com, where we're going to be putting all these different resources for you, anything related to paddle, and all the things that we discuss here. We're going to be adding the links and all the information on the website as well. It's a great way for you guys to go to the website to learn about paddle tips and resources and things like that.
And to stay connected in general with
correct.
what the news that's going on here in Miami and through this country about paddle. We're going to have, continue doing lessons there. We're going to do product reviews. We're going to be doing interviews. We're just going to get everybody connected on what's going on in paddle and getting people information and news about paddle in Miami.
Just to give you something pretty simple and basic that it happens to me on a weekly basis. This morning, after one of my clinics, I had one of my students of mine, Andrew, come over to me and said, my elbow is killing me. What do you recommend? What paddle do you recommend for tennis elbow? So we're going to be providing tips about, especially those things, when you get tennis elbow, we call it now paddle elbow. What's the right paddle for you when you have paddle elbow, what you should do. My recommendation is always, you don't see any professional paddle players, or in that case also tennis players, with tennis elbow or paddle elbow. And most of the time you get paddle elbow because of a technique problem, because of the biomechanics, because you're doing something wrong. The paddle could make it worse, and the paddle also can make it less worse. So it's a combination of both. You have to have good technique and you have to have a good paddle. How do you get good technique? Taking lessons.
Yes.
That's the only way for you to start preventing injuries, shoulder, knees, elbows, and wrist, and all that.
I think most of the injuries and paddle elbow and all that are you're right, is technique. They're not really hitting the shot correctly.
Exactly.
That's number one. That's the majority of it. I mean, you can also run into with paddle rackets. Some have a smaller sweet spot, so you get vibrations there. So if you're hitting the shot incorrectly and you have a paddle that has a small sweet spot, you're gonna get more vibrations, and then you're gonna have issues.
Yeah,
and then it's
and also the foam inside the foam, make it softer so that absorbs the vibrations as well. So
yes, that's another thing. So, but then that's a sacrifice, right? So if you want a little more control and power, and that's what everybody kind of wants, you're gonna have a harder foam. And but then if you have a small sweet spot, if you don't hit it right in that center, you're gonna get that vibration. So there's the compromises there.
Thanks for tuning in to Paddle Smash Academy. We hope you find our videos informative and helpful in improving your game and learning all things paddle. And if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss a video from us. So until next time, keep practicing, keep improving, and keep on smashing that paddle. See you in the court.